Welcome to the Quench Life podcast. I'm Jillian, and with me today is Val. Val is an athletic trainer for the Cape Cod Baseball League, which is awesome. She does that during the summer, and then through the fall and spring, she is a gym teacher at DY. So we're so happy to have you. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you kind of just chat us along where health and fitness it kind of crosses both your life or work and then, you know, what you come in and do at the gym. So why don't you kind of chat us through what that was like for you?
Okay. I would say health and fitness is probably like the biggest part of my life. And it has been since I was young. Like growing up, they were just starting to have like girls teams,
Okay.
You know what I mean? And softball stuff. It's like, I just remember my parents being like, you're doing it. And I was like so against it. I'm not coordinated. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not good enough, you know. And so, but like I did it and realized I like movement and being, you know, active and whatever. So
Sure.
that just kind of carried through. And then I was a health major in college and not so fit. Like I definitely, the whole like freshman 15 pounds
Sure.
was probably more like a 30 pounds. And, you know, once I graduated college, I was like, wow, I'm a health major and I'm like a hot mess, you know?
Okay.
You know, like it's like really how I felt.
Yeah.
Like I should know better. Like I
Right.
should know how to treat my body and
Sure.
whatever. And I'm just like not doing that.
Yeah.
So then, you know, I kind of made a little commitment to myself. Like, okay, I'm gonna just try some little changes, like, you know, food changes and
Yeah.
whatever. And then I realized like the biggest thing that was missing was like daily movement. And
Yeah.
so I just tried to do that on my own. But it's hard. Like for me, I'm sort of not motivated unless I have other people
Yeah.
to do stuff with. So I just kind of got into like trying out different gyms wherever I was living at the time. Like I would just try the local gyms and whatnot. And then getting a job as an athletic trainer, I started working at Boston College, and they had like a awesome fitness, you know, facility for
Yeah.
the athletes that I was allowed to use. So I kind of like started working with one of the strength coaches. I was like, oh, I really like this.
Yeah.
And
How long did you work at Boston College?
I was there for almost like 3.5, almost 4 years, and best job ever. It was so great.
Yeah, you worked with the athletes.
Yep, I worked with football and baseball teams, taking care of injuries and stuff. Like they have their own strength coaches, but we all kind of worked together. So that was cool because it's almost forced me back into like a fitness way of living, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is good. I can work it into my day. So then fast forward, I ended up getting this teaching job on the Cape, and I found you guys, and you know, where your gym was convenient and had like, you know, good hours that fit for me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a try, and I absolutely loved it. And then I had a little setback because I got a little like head injury and couldn't do anything for a while. And I just remember you being so welcoming and like, just come back, like easy does it, whatever it
Sure.
is, you know. And
How did you get a head injury? Because I feel like you can't be like, I got a head injury,
Oh my
and then totally
gosh.
float by.
oh my gosh, I feel like I tell this story all the time when I'm working out. Like people like are probably like sick of hearing it. I didn't
No.
realize you didn't know.
No.
Yeah, no, I got got hit in the head with a football when I wasn't looking, and so I got hit in the head, and then I fell and hit my head again.
Okay.
And like, I literally have no memory for like a month and a half of my life.
Okay.
And had to like I couldn't walk or talk, so I had to go to like speech
That is
therapy,
crazy.
physical therapy. Yeah, it was nuts. Who'd have thunk? And this was after I was no longer working with the football team. So I was like, how does this happen in a PE class? Like, really? Really? what happened to
There's
me.
no better way for it to happen.
Yeah, like my
Can't
students.
be a sexy story.
It was my students. Yeah, they're like, oh, teacher's down. Right.
So you weren't able to like to walk or talk?
I literally couldn't walk, talk, speak. For like 3 months I was kind of that way. And
so
when I started to do my rehab and they cleared me to go back to like a gym situation, I remember coming to you guys and you guys were just like, what, you know, easy does it, whatever.
Sure.
And I like literally had to work my way back, and that was like 7 years ago.
Okay.
And then I feel like I'm in the best shape ever now, and it's almost addicting. It's like weird because I never, going back to like when I got out of college, like I never would think I would be like, I can't wait to go to the gym, you know, like that never crossed my mind. And now that's like how I feel.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
I mean, it helps that I teach phys ed and I'm active now, you know,
every day.
all the time. But so that's my fitness deal. Yeah. I guess.
So how do you like go about putting fitness in your life? Like when you plan your schedule, I think it's always just interesting how everybody kind of hoards off that time for themselves. How do you go about not feeling guilty or creating that time for you?
For me, it's like it's a non-negotiable. Like I feel like I'm not me if I don't give myself that time. So but the other thing is, like, you know, obviously I have to work and I have certain work hours.
Right.
So I kind of like make myself go right after work. Otherwise, everything else gets in the way. Like you find a million excuses and, you know, things to do and things that need to get done. Yeah. So if I don't just like leave work, come to the gym, then it's like not gonna happen for me anyway. Like, so I just like know that I'm gonna carve out like an hour or two after like my work day's over and be doing something at the gym, or, you know, if I can't make it to the gym, like go for a walk or something like that, because otherwise it just like, it won't happen.
Right. So that's great to have that self-awareness of knowing like you gotta drive right there and do it, or like, I'm out.
It just won't happen.
Yeah. It's good to know that those are what your boundary lines are, and that you have the opportunity to just make that happen. I like that that's where you're at.
Yeah. And it took a long time to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like years of, you know, I'll just go home and I'll go in an hour, and then, you know, I know I'm not going to go in an hour to the gym. So now it's just like it's just like almost like autopilot. Yeah,
mind over matter and get it done. So like, was that experience of getting hit in the head with the football like pivotal for you, for like making you feel like that you needed to be more specific in your fitness, or was it just a progression over time that kind of happened for you of like, you know, I'm going to focus on this time, or what was that experience like for you?
It was more like, when I had that injury and I was like incapacitated and I couldn't move. I like literally couldn't.
That's a scary level injury.
Yeah. I didn't like how I felt.
Right.
Even though it's so weird, it's hard to explain. But like you feel like, you know, I can't really move that great. I'm, you know, crawling around or whatever, but at the same time I feel like my body should be able to like, you know, be doing jumping jacks or whatever, and like you can't.
Yep.
So once I started going back, you know, through the physical therapy and then, you know, getting to a point where I could, you know, do the move, you almost want to be like, I can't let go of this, like, you know, I can't let myself go back to a point where you know,
we've had something taken away, and you don't realize how important movement is. The simplicity of just being able to get up and walk somewhere. When that's taken away from you, you don't realize how impactful that is. It's something you take for granted.
Exactly, and I, you know, it was a lousy experience, obviously, but actually probably like one of the better things that has happened, because this came out, you know, from it. So yeah, God. Like, seems like it was like forever ago, but like
I had no idea that happened to you. So I'm like, what, right now?
Yeah, I remember like I could almost like barely just stand upright on 2 feet, and like I'd come to the gym and like, you know, you guys would be like, the other ladies would be doing like the box jumps, and I'd literally be able to just like step up like an inch or two. I was like, oh my God, this is awful.
Right.
But, you know, baby steps, literally. It was like baby steps.
Yeah. And I think that what's so interesting about fitness time and time again is that nobody gets started in fitness like, you know, you wake up tomorrow morning like, okay, I'm going to the gym just because I feel good. It is an emotionally driven decision because somebody got divorced or you broke up or you had a life-altering experience like that where you realize the ability to move is just so important.
It is.
And you're not going to lose that again. Like that's just, you know, that happens and then we're here. We help as best as we can.
I mean, you guys, well, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like trying to like shamelessly plug, but for real, like you guys have been my family through all of this, and I probably wouldn't have stuck with it if I didn't find a place I was like really comfortable with, because coming out of that experience, I was like very hesitant to be like let other people see my fitness level, because to me it felt so low, and it was just like I don't know, you know, I was embarrassed.
Well, and I think that especially for women, you know, feeling embarrassed is such a it's such an overpowering thing. Feeling uncomfortable, being ashamed, all of those feelings. It's one thing to say you need help, but then really coming and communicating or asking for help, you know, can definitely sometimes feel shameful. I don't know why, but I think that we all do it.
Yeah.
Why do we do that to ourselves? Not sure. But, you know, you need to find those comforting hands that can help you.
It was huge. I think it was a big thing that it was a girl or female only situation. Girls, females.
Girls
only.
Only.
Like, not that I'm not accustomed to, you know, being around guys or even working out around guys, but like in the state that I was in at that point, I was kind of like, it's embarrassing enough.
Right.
Like, I don't know, you just feel better when it's like women that kind of like, you know, everybody's just like talking and laughing, and it's not like some like meat fest, you know?
Sure.
So I really think that going into that situation kept me in it. Otherwise I probably would have like been like, oh.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But in being safe and comfortable, those are all important things in anything that you do. But fitness, I think, is such a sacred type of thing, and it does kind of push you to your limits sometimes. So feeling comfortable in a situation or in a space that you can do that, I think, is important. Yeah. Now look at you. You're like a maniac. Everyone's going to be like,
my gym
what?
time.
I can't believe now how much you can deadlift. Like Val lifts all the weights and she runs all the distances. I mean, you're such a huge person in the gym with everything that you're doing. And what I love about Val, because what I love is that you're always so supportive and inclusive of everybody that's getting started in the gym itself, or, you know, always just a high five. Well, not high-fiving anymore, right? But
I know.
A distance
We're distance fiving.
But you're always just so supportive and engaging to everybody that comes in, and it's so great to have that as part of our community and part of the experience.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I love it. I mean, it's just natural. People, you know.
Yeah.
But I do what others do for me, you know.
Sure.
And that's like, I feel like we all kind of lift each other up here.
Yeah.
And I never feel like in my working out experiences, like it's like a negative undertone at all.
Sure.
I always feel like it's just like happy and encouraging, and everybody does that. So, I mean, why not lift someone up when they're
I love that.
new or struggling or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just doing a good job. It's also probably the PE teacher in me. I'm like, come on. You can do it. They're probably like,
maybe
whoa.
you were meant to be like a cheerleader at some point, a football cheerleader. Maybe that's like what you missed out on along the way somewhere.
If I could have way back when, I would have taken gymnastics.
Yes, I love it. All right, so our last question that we'll leave you on is, what is now your favorite exercise when you're in the gym? Like, what is your favorite thing? Like, it's a hard one.
Oh my God, I like legit love everything. So my favorite thing is, well, I love deadlifting just because I feel like it makes you feel like powerful.
Sure.
Because you can like, see your progression in the weights and whatever. I hate them, but I love that I'm still trying to do pull-ups.
Okay.
Because even though I'm still on the assisted level, like, again, it's like you can see your progress even with the assisted some. So I love those. And like, I love boxing.
Yeah.
I love spin. I don't know. I like it all. Don't put me on the spot.
Well, deadlifts
like that.
are like winning. Everybody loves a good deadlift. And I think it's just because, again, like you can see your progressions, you can see. And when you just pick something heavy up, like you just kind of want to scream like the Hulk because it just makes you feel empowered. So those are all great answers. You just like all of it. It's okay to like all of it.
I mean, it would have been easier if you were like, what's the worst thing?
Okay, well then what's the worst?
Burpees. Oh my God. 100%.
Hands down.
100%.
Everybody's like, yes, it's burpees. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Thank you. Yay. Thank you.